If you're asking the question, which is better, a gas forge or a coal forge, you're probably asking the wrong question. The question is not which is better, but which is best for you. And there's a lot of things to consider: your environment, how much money you have, where you're at in your skill level. So this is a coal forge. It has forced air that comes from underneath. You have a blower that's either electric or hand crank that you can turn on. It's fueled with coal, which comes from the ground. And I have a chimney that goes up through the roof to vent the smoke out of the building. And then over here I have a gas forge, which is run on propane gas. It's compressed gas, and you basically just turn the gas on, fire it up. When you really get into blacksmithing seriously, it's great to have both a coal forge and a gas forge because they both specialize in doing things better than the other. They both are good at something that the other can't do. A coal forge gets a lot hotter. If you want to do forge welding, you can easily achieve forge welding temperatures in a coal forge. It's a lot harder to achieve those temperatures in a gas forge. One of the reasons that you can get a fire much hotter in a coal forge is because you're using forced air. You're actually blowing oxygen up through the bottom of the coal. It's feeding all that oxygen in, so you can get your temperatures really hot. Where a gas forge is just burning oxygen from the environment around it. Heat is also something to consider. Gas forges put off a ton of heat. So in the wintertime, while that's nice, in the summertime, if it's 80 degrees outside, it's gonna be 110 degrees in my shop because of the amount of heat the gas forge is putting off. Where a coal forge, although it gets hotter and gets your metal a lot hotter, most of that heat from the fire is actually being drafted up the chimney, so it's not heating your shop up. It's not uncomfortable to be around. In our last episode, you guys actually got to see me make one of these leaves. They were actually being made for this console table that I'm still working on. I still have a lot of tweaking to do. I gotta mess with the leaves a little bit. It's gonna get a walnut top. But I wanted to show you an example of a project that used both a coal and a gas forge. For these long legs here, and for the trestle below, I used a coal forge for the heavier legs, and then this long trestle, I actually used the gas forge because it was convenient to shove that long bar through and get a nice even heat, which I then took to my power hammer. In the video with the leaves, I actually forged in the coal forge, but when I went to do more production and make all 30 leaves, I actually just threw all the leaf blanks in the gas forge and worked on them all at one time, and I didn't risk burning the tips of the leaves off. One of the things that I make here in the shop a lot that I sell online are bottle openers. So I've got a lot of these small little bottle opener blanks that I forge. And if I want to work maybe 10 of them at a time and I put them all in the coal forge, it's real easy for them to slide down in the coal and I lose it and I actually burn it up. Where I can actually put them all in the gas forge, I can open the door, see all of them. I'm not going to worry about burning them up. It maintains an even heat, so when I'm ready for that, I just pull it out and go. Coal forges are open on the top, it's loose coal, so I could take an entire metal table base and put a corner of it down in the coal forge where I can't come close to fitting that in my gas forge. Coal forges are great for isolating heat and achieving a really hot area next to an area that's cold enough to hold on to. You can take a bar and just stick the tip in a coal forge and get this hot enough to weld, and the heat doesn't creep or travel up the bar. If you do that in a gas forge, because it takes a little bit longer to heat up and you got those flames just blasting out the door of the gas forge, the heat is going to creep up the bar and potentially burn your hand a lot easier. One of the things a gas forge really excels at is getting a nice even temperature for twisting. Let's say you want to twist a bar like this. It can be difficult to get a nice even heat along the whole bar in a coal forge, especially if you have a smaller fire pot, and coal forges tend to be really hot in the center. So you're sliding the bar in and out. In a gas forge, you can put this in the gas forge and achieve a nice even temperature along the whole length of the bar, which is going to give you a nice even twist on the bar. If I was a beginner and I was thinking about getting into blacksmithing today, and I didn't have much money and I just wanted to try it for a little while and see if I liked it, I would start with a gas forge because you're not going to spend much. You don't have to install a chimney. It's just a quick, easy, turn it on and go, and you can start forging right away. But ultimately, use the forge that you have. If somebody gives you a forge, use it. Don't don't discriminate really between one or the other because they both have advantages. I really like to have both in my shop.
If you're interested in purchasing a gas forge, I've had great success with my NC Tool Forge. I'll put a link in the description to make it easy for you to find. Please subscribe to see more.